and welcome to Meet Our Makers, an artist interview podcast produced in association with Beats Per Minute. I'm your host, Jeremy J. Facette. On this episode, we get to meet singer-songwriter Avery Tucker. Avery, until now, was probably best known as one half of the indie rock band Girlpool, but Girlpool is sort of now on indefinite hiatus, leaving its members, Avery and Harmony, to their own solo careers, and now Avery has arrived with his first ever debut full-length LP, Paw. Paw is out now, and in this chat, Avery and I talk quite a bit about this new record, the themes behind it, the sort of nakedness of the songwriting, and even some of the production choices, and kind of the long and winding journey that led him here, the discoveries along the way, the reflection, introspection, and the beautiful moments and the tougher moments in life that kind of got us Paw and got him Paw, moreover. We talk about a lot of life stuff. We talk about Gillian Welch. We talk about fast music versus slow music. We talk about living and singing in the moment and a whole bunch of other stuff too. It's really lovely, laid back, very chill, in Avery's words, conversation. And if you've ever liked Girlpool or are digging the new Avery songs, or just wanted to hear a nice chat between a cool, talented musician and me, then welcome and thanks for listening. This is me meeting Avery Tucker. Well, thanks for coming and hanging out for a little bit.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. So we are here on the near arrival of your record, Paw, which is out October 10th. It is your first solo album. After, for those who may or may not know, after 4 records spread out across about 7 years with the band Girlpool, you are now here with your solo debut LP, Paw. How are you feeling as you approach this sort of milestone?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I feel like it's so funny when you work on something for so long and then you're like, oh, like you think about it coming out so much, and then when it's actually about to come out, it's like kind of chill and you're like still like doing your thing every day. I don't know. I feel good about it. I'm excited to like share all the music. It's just funny because I'm like, already making new music. So it's like this funny kind of thing. But no, I'm really excited to release it. And it took me a long time to like put out music, or sort of like a long time since Girlpool broke up. And so like even just getting the singles out, I feel like every time a song is released, I really feel like a energetic release. And so once I started getting the singles out, I was like, whoa, I feel like I've been so like backed up for so long that, I feel like once that whole album comes out, it's going to be like, whew.
Right. I
So
mean,
I'm
how
looking forward to that.
long have you been sitting on the record?
I started some of the songs like before Girlpool broke up. So that's like a few, I guess it's like, when did we split? 2022?
That sounds right.
Yeah. So some of the songs are a few years old, but just a couple of them. And then I wrote most of them after. So yeah, I've been like sitting on some of these songs for like 3 years, and I've been sitting on some of them for like 6 months, a year, 2 years, kind of varies.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you've been kind of toying away at this record for ultimately for a few years now, and so yeah, I guess I could understand. Like, I feel like you must have been personally at the kind of peak point before, and now you're kind of like, all right, it's ready to come out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it must feel like you'll never feel this again.
Right.
Like this debut album coming out. Because like even though you've been out in music for a few years now, not under your own name. So this is kind of a unique release.
Totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Do you find yourself sort of at any point in this process, I suppose, but do you find yourself more sort of nervous or preoccupied with the release of these songs than you ever were with Girlpool stuff, or does it just feel totally different?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like through this whole process, I've like, it's been such a surrender,
Mm,
like, and just sort of letting go and kind of like making the music whatever way I can, like making it happen, like kind of like falling down, getting back up, falling down, getting back up. And so I feel like at this point, um, I'm kind of just like pretty like open palms, you know?
hmm
I think with Girlpool, um, you know, we kind of once we started getting in the groove of like putting out albums and touring so much, like we were like kind of in a rhythm.
hmm
And so, you know, in a weird way, there was like pressure in that, like, I don't know, like this record did this well, next record, like blah, 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 like whatever. And so I feel like I've kind of just like let go in a way of like, okay, I'm gonna like do this forever. So I'm just gonna make this as like authentic and like, um, you know, I don't know, just like, yeah, I guess to answer your question about being nervous, like the song that felt the most naked to me was like the single Like I'm Young.
hmm
And that one I was like, damn, like there's some lines in this one that like I didn't really, I'm like, ooh, like I kind of like that's gonna people are gonna listen to that. Like that's
hmm
kind of like vulnerable or something. But that like passed pretty quickly and like I kind of like that. I like that feeling anyway. It's like the bolder and like more kind of the closer to the edge I feel like I go and like that's a really exciting feeling of like being like, yeah, this is the feeling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I feel like I noticed that a lot on this record, and I feel like I've actually been noticing it a lot in music at large, is like not that there's not imagery and poetry and the lyricism in your work or just these days, but also just this directness I feel like has become really more popular, just sort of like, yeah, saying like what it is and like being very bluntly vulnerable and kind of open about things that maybe we would have before tried to obscure somehow, or like hide behind like pretty phrasing. And it's like sometimes you just got to cut to it, I guess.
totally. Yeah.
But that does leave you feeling vulnerable, I would presume, as you say.
Yeah, occasionally. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes I think it depends on the line, you
Right.
know. Sometimes it's like more open wound feeling. And then I think it like changes and I don't know, it's got a whole solar system thing going on. I don't
Right.
know. Yeah.
And I mean, we can get into this a bit more in a bit, but I mean, I would imagine a lot of this record is very personal. It sounds like it is.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's its own vulnerability. I mean, it's always vulnerable to release something you've created, but it is, in my estimation, a different kind of vulnerability to release something like this versus something that is maybe a narrative or kind of like short story songs kind of thing where it's all fictitious. I mean, it's a different level, I would think.
Yeah, I think like I was talking about this last night with a friend, but like I kind of only write. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty like I feel like I only write like kind of like emotionally intense music. Um, so I think yeah, I it's rare. I've written a few songs that are more like kind of like dreamy and out there and like weird and like kind of like trippy and like another world kind of like energy that I'm kind of like playing in with like some otherworldly thing,
hmm
which is super fun and it feels like a different side of me. But I
hmm
feel like my like innate, like my default approach when I sit to write, which is something I've been kind of like trying to play with and kind of like stretch into a different zone. But like my comfort zone is like straight to the like pain, like straight to the like whatever way to sort of like metabolize like some some contraction within me about a situation, like a relationship. It's a like control, like someone
Hmm.
else's journey, stuff like kind of the stuff I don't really know what to do with inside is often,
Yeah,
I think, where I go when I sit to make music.
right. So I do want to talk quickly about just the title of this record and the album art. As a person who is obsessed with my dog, I relate to this theme of dog paws. In case people haven't seen it, there is a gigantic dog paw on the cover of the record. But I am curious because it's not like it's a line, it's not a title track kind of situation. So how did you land on like this one like three-letter, very terse kind of title for this set of songs?
Yeah, I felt like well, kind of originated with like I was playing this game with friends at the time where like we'd go around and talk about if they had like who had paws and who had like wings or like talons or hooves or whatever, like how you meet Earth or whatever.
Hmm.
And are those dogs really loud?
I mean, they're okay.
Should I close the window?
No, they'll stop.
Okay. Um yeah, anyway, so yeah, it was kind of like we would play that game and then like I felt like connected to like a paw print in the
Mm.
like in the earth. Like and I
Hmm.
felt like this album was like kind of like my like thumbprint of like a really like intimate, it's just me, I'm used to like working with harmony on albums and stuff, so it felt like this was really kind of like a DNA, like where I like a depiction of my experience, I guess.
Yeah. I like that tying to the thumbprint because I mean I don't know scientifically, but I would imagine a dog's paw print is similar to our hand or thumbprint in that it's unique to that being. Um, so I guess in lieu of putting your giant thumbprint on the record, you can use a paw print. But it is also like I don't know, it's this sort of thing that at least I or like a lot of dog lovers associate probably with, something very cute or sweet or benign. And this record is quite intense in a lot of ways. I mean, the lyricism is quite cutting in a lot of ways. Is that a contrast that you were pleased with or that you were sort of like after in a way?
Yeah, I thought like my dog's paw, that photo's like pretty kind of like gnarly, and like she has like all these calluses on it and it's like worn,
Hmm.
and it's such a like vulnerable part of like her body, and
Hmm.
it's like the thing that touches the ground, like just felt like it was like kind of both, like it was like
Hmm.
really like soft and vulnerable but then also like gnarly and like kind of grotesque and like kind of like also mean,
Hmm.
like not her paw but just like claw, like a paw with claws,
Hmm.
um and I feel like a lot of these songs are like heavy
Hmm.
and then really like open-hearted at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was curious what sort of themes were bubbling around for you as you wrote these songs because I mean like we said it is very personal. It comes across very personal. I was only able to listen to it once through, but I felt like I was picking up on themes of growing older and identity and nostalgia and maybe some love relationship type stuff as well. But what was sort of percolating for you when you were composing this record?
um yeah, a lot of stuff like yeah, I think it just being in Girlpool from like when I was 16 or something.
Yeah.
Um, that was like a really interesting like thing to jump into after high school and like kind of go on that whole journey. And I think like realizing that there was more I wanted to explore within my own voice and my own like self knowing, like kind of a solo journey that I was like feeling pulled to go on. I think that like kind of coming out of that dynamic with harmony and like sitting with myself and writing and like building something new was a pretty like confrontational thing to do for me. And I felt really scared to do it. And I also felt like if I wasn't going to do it now, like I just knew in my heart it was time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I just like was processing like my like early life and stuff, and then like relationship stuff and identity stuff, and like I transitioned in Girlpool and like I don't know, just wrote songs that like I don't know, just like a deep kind of like portal I was in at the time that there's some songs about like leaving Girlpool and just a lot of like just feels like I'm gonna look back on this album later in my life and be like, whoa, that was a really like rich time for you to like
Mm-hmm.
look at certain just just like I self stuff. I don't know, like early 20s and like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Mid 20s, I guess. I'm 29 now, but I think I started doing it 27 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, you mentioned the song, the first single, Like I'm Young, earlier. Um, I mean, it's a pretty striking first single. It starts off very skeletal, and then at the end it climaxes and sort of screams and louder guitars and drums, and it does kind of feel like this very quiet, vulnerable moment that then explodes into something much more, uh, I don't know, conclusive. It comes to quite a head, I think, at the end. Um, but first of all, I mean, why did you decide that this was sort of the right entry place for us for this journey of yours?
think it felt like um I think it felt like with that song I like kind of entered a new um room in me of like kind of
Hmm.
uh, I don't know. I think I often am writing a lot. I think about like the other, and I
Hmm.
felt like this song was a little bit of like a relationship thing, but like mostly it was like my relationship to myself. And like,
Hmm.
um, and it was a really kind of like, I felt like, yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it was like a bold thing for me. Like it felt bold in myself to go there. And I think I
Hmm.
was like, felt like leading with that. Or wait, was that the first single?
Yeah, I think so.
No, no, Big Drops was. That's the first song on the record, yeah.
Oh,
Um
maybe like I'm Young was the first single out once you announced the record.
yeah, I
I
announced
think
the record with it.
that's probably what
Exactly.
I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, that just feels like that song's just very like important to me, I
Hmm.
guess.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's kind of like a still life. Like it's sort of this like just snapshot of this moment of sort of tenderness and intimacy and vulnerability, and then but then also sort of like a lot of introspection, all wrapped up in like this one moment.
Thanks. Yeah.
Um, I mean, what is a song like this tackling for you?
Um I think it just like gives me space and time to like really like lay on the ground and in a feeling,
Mhm.
and like let myself, it's kind of like a wet towel that you like wring out, like I feel like that song for me is like um yeah, it's just like allowing myself to sort of like feel this like kind of like tantrum of like
Mm,
this feeling that like I think I haven't really given myself because I'm like I don't want to say I'm like generally even keel. Like I'm not like an even keel person, I don't think, but like I think I've also just been like yeah, like life is amazing. Like,
hmm.
like I'm so blessed and um like I think allowing myself to kind of go to like a deep internal pain of like a feeling about something that felt really like vulnerable to say out loud. Like there were lines in that song where I was just like, oh, I don't really want to like say this, but I was just, I was writing it for myself in my
Right.
home. And then
Right.
I think I like sent it to a couple of friends and they were like, this is crazy. Like, this is so good. You like, whatever. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, I don't know about showing any, like, whatever. It just
Yeah.
felt like a really cathartic song to write. So,
Yeah. It feels like it.
yeah,
I mean, maybe that's the word I was looking for before. It feels like it comes to a sort of catharsis at the end.
yeah, totally.
Um, this other one that some of the storytelling in some of these songs I find very sort of potent and moving. And one in particular was In the Smoke, which ends with this really, really, really lovely verse where you say, "It was right, all of the hoping and our tries, and how we got broken, the sunlight and our dreams that got golden." What is this song about for you?
Um, I think, yeah, this song I wrote kind of about like leaving Girlpool and
Mm,
um just like having this like person like that I grew up with that like we like toured for so many years together and really like grew into our like voices together and
hmm.
I don't know, like being on the road with someone at a young age, like driving through all I mean like for like a decade basically being on tour for so much of your life and playing music that like you write with someone. It's like such a beautiful, like deep, intense experience, and you're just every night like giving life to like this thing you wrote together. It's so like ceremonial kind of,
Hmm.
um and so I think that like letting go of that for however, an indefinite amount of time or whatever and like moving on and whatever, I think there was just a lot that I was wrapping my head around in that because like ultimately Harmony and I were kind of like writing a lot less together by the end of Girlpool and I really was always kind of like craving us to kind of be in the zone we were in the earlier years where we were like really collaborating on the lyric elements and that was like pretty important, felt like really like kind of like central to
Hmm.
Girlpool for me. And I think as we were sort of just like literally growing up in age and like exploring our own songwriting, we both kind of wanted to just like paint more on our own and kind of come
Yeah.
together. And I felt like we just kind of were like flying in different directions a bit, and that was difficult to be in and like choose while feeling this like other pole.
Yeah.
And so I think for a while there was like just kind of like pain around like shit, like do I actually need to like pivot? Do we need to pivot right now? And so that song's kind of like, about like the surrender of that and also just like the gratitude of like wait, the gratitude of like having had that sharing that even to this day with Harmony. We're like family and extremely close and hang out all the time. So
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like it does a good job, this song and this conclusion of this song kind of letting people know that it wasn't some completely like There wasn't like a ton of animosity. There wasn't a ton of drama. Like this verse kind of in the song, moreover, it was that phrase, it was right. I mean, it kind of just like it was just all that was right, and now all this is right. Like it's just sort of what had to happen, and everything's cool,
Yeah, totally.
which is nice because I feel like, Girlpool. I didn't realize you were 19 or six or however old you were when you very first started, and that's young to then go into this band that actually did kind of take off.
Yeah, I was 17. We
17.
met when I was 16.
Okay.
Got signed when I was 17.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's first of all, that's not super common. And second of all, it's not common that you did take off. I mean, you were, especially by the second record, you were touring pretty big. You got great reviews. You were kind of really in the circuit. And then to end that after four records, I think a lot of people jump to a lot of conclusions. Um, so it's sort of nice getting this sort of lovely verse about like, no, we just that was what it was and this is what it is now. And that's okay.
Yeah, I think so much of Girlpool's like ethos for so long was like to be in the truth with each
Mm,
other, and like our songwriting, we would always push each other to really get to the crux of the feeling. And
hmm.
so it's like, learning radical honesty with harmony, just driving through like America, like talking as teenagers and like getting into arguments, being in vulnerable situations, kind of coming up on each other, whatever. Like we had to talk through things so often because that night it would just be literally the two of us on stage singing these songs, and then we'd be on the road for another 3 weeks or something. So I think her and I have such an open, like vulnerable relationship.
Hmm.
Um, and it's really taught me so much. Like I still like my mind is blown by my relationship to her, like often.
Hmm. That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's special. I mean, that's special, it's
It
like
is so special. Yeah.
not everyone gets that. I mean, you mentioned earlier too that some of these songs kind of found you kind of looking backward at, growing up and maybe like, I mean, you grew up in LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like looking backward at that, are you someone who in your average life find yourself looking back a lot? Are you sort of a nostalgic person?
um yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think, I mean, I like get those like TikTok videos with that haunting song of like the 90s where it's like do 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 do, and it's like videos of like McDonald's and like playgrounds and like silly putty or something, and I'm like so freaked
Yeah.
out, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to go back now.
Yeah.
um but yeah, I guess I'm nostalgic, but I don't know, I feel pretty like inspired by the moment and
Mm,
very like into what will be revealed.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've I don't know if I totally consider myself nostalgic. I don't think I look back at like my hometown super fondly, but I do think there is something about the pull of hometowns and like I don't know, there's something about the anchoring of that that sort of preoccupies a lot of us. I mean, I'm thinking, I mean, not that I really want to talk about them, but that Arcade Fire video that they did for the one of
The
the Suburbs
suburbs.
tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forget what song it was where it was like you
The
put in your
suburbs.
address. That was the Suburbs?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, you put in your address and they like Google Earthed you in and you're like running around your neighborhood and I
So
was like
cool.
it was it was super cool. But
Yeah.
like I don't know, like I mean what I don't know what is it that like keeps it, because even those of us I think that have issues with our hometown or our childhood or adolescence or whatever it is, I feel like there is still this mysterious pull about the concept of a hometown and like where you started.
Yeah, I think being a kid is magical inherently,
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
and there's so much magic around like one, like you're so filled, I think, with wonder and questions, and suddenly
Yeah.
it's like you're experiencing like your fifth autumn ever, and there's like leaves falling, and you're like running to your friend's house to like eat cookies and watch American Idol or something. Like there's just like it's
Yeah.
just so new, you know? And
Yeah.
yeah, it's funny. I was like walking down, my parents, they still live in the house I grew up in, and I'm like 20 minutes from them, but um yeah, like I remember when they paved that street, like they repaved it, and I would skate on it all the time because it was so fresh, you know?
Right.
And it's still, yeah, I mean those, yeah, it's just, I don't know, the memory's so interesting, what we remember, what we hold on to, what we forget. And I think
Yeah.
living in LA though has been, it's so funny. Like whenever I have friends that have moved here or I meet people that are visiting or something, I'm like, yeah, I cannot imagine like not being from here and moving here. Like
Mm.
it's such a like trippy, like charged place, I feel like, with like just like the history and like Hollywood and like the
Yeah.
weird web. Like it's such a bizarre city, and I'm so used to it, you know?
Yeah.
And all my loved ones basically are here. So,
Yeah.
you know, ultimately that's really what it's all about, is
Yeah.
where the people you love are.
Yeah. And you probably, I would imagine at this point, can't really fathom being anywhere else.
Me and Harmony moved to Philly when in the early years of Girlpool for a little bit, and then we lived
Okay.
in New York for
Okay.
a little bit, and it was really fun. I love going to the East Coast, and I love New York, but I
Yeah.
think, you know, I mean, I have like fantasies of like, you know, living in New York later in life or something, but who knows? More will be revealed, you know.
Right. Right. Um, you also mentioned earlier, like your coming out sort of coincided with the last few years of Girlpool. Not that they're related, but that is kind of you said I came out in Girlpool. Was that a moment of release for you in some way, like professionally, personally, artistically? Did you feel some kind of release when you decided to publicize that?
Um, I think it was a bit daunting because at the time we were like really like busy and stuff.
Right.
Um, and it was like very much like something I was like exploring
Hmm.
and just kind of like feeling. And Harmony was like super, I didn't, I truthfully, I only knew like a couple of other people that had ever done that. And so
Hmm.
it was pretty like, I didn't really know a ton about the trans journey and like what, you know. And I was
Yeah.
kind of just like exploring myself, and I was like, I think I was like 19 or something. So I think yeah, like I did like a coming out article or something that kind of at the time I was like, it's like so, like looking back on it now, I'm like, it's like so weird that I like did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I was like 19 and I like had a article about coming out. And
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I mean, I think it was chill, but like I think it was stressful to me because I remember like reading the article and being kind of like stressed out about some of the uh like language, and like it felt like it just felt like it was a little bit like 10 steps ahead of me or something,
Right.
and like people whatever. But also I was excited to just be like authentic, and I felt like, I don't know, I literally didn't know any trans musicians. So
Mm.
I was like, you know, actually transitioning was pretty tough on the live set for like a while. And I didn't know, I really didn't know who to talk to about it. And Harmony
Yeah.
was like so like supportive and chill, and like did not care that I literally couldn't sing. Like I would like go to sing a note. I think we had like an amazing, huge sold out show in London or something. I think it was in the UK, and I like could not sing,
Mm.
and it was so frustrating. And she just was like, it's it's like the energy. It's not even about the note. Like it's like if you're there, that will be felt. And
Hmm.
I would just like did sang the best I could, and I got off stage and I was like, oh my God, that was like insane. Like that was horrible. And she was like, you were fine. Like you were great. And it was like really funny because she was like just so Harmony's so chill with like, we have I'm a double Virgo, and I'm like I really want to feel as like locked in as possible to the live performance. And I think when I was younger, my grip on like tapping in almost got in the way sometimes of me being able to just tap in. And as I've gotten older, it's so the surrender of it and like letting it be. Like I actually like have fallen in love so much with like the mystery of live performance, where like
Hmm.
who knows if a guitar string breaks, who knows if like you hit this note weird, or like
Yeah.
like that's now I'm kind of like that's kind of sick. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
just like it's so in real life, it's so human, it's so real. And
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, I had more pressure on like
Yeah.
perfectionism.
Yeah.
That was like a mix of prof- professionalism and perfectionism. Um, so yeah, it's cool.
Hmm. So you've sort of then been able to kind of maybe break through to this other side, thinking about performance and the standards maybe that you hold yourself to.
I think just like authenticity and
Yeah.
like just like flow, like we're honestly just surrender. Like even with
Yeah.
this album, I mean, I made the album, me and my friend Alaska Reed co-produced the record together, and so much of the album was to like kind of like the feeling behind it was like to not really like overproduce it or overthink it, but to really let the songs speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And
It's pretty stripped back.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
like just it is kind of what it is.
Yeah.
um and I liked that. Like I felt like in previous albums that I've been involved with and made, like I feel like the production side has like really like you can really get caught up in this cool sparkly sound and this really amazing player that's going to come over and play on all of the songs, or
Right.
these things that are really cool tools to use. But I think ultimately, like, I was just craving to like get back to the song speaking for itself, kind of the way that it felt when I was a younger musician and just
Hmm.
like didn't have access to professional studio musicians to come play on stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Like just like playing the bass myself, and like just when you're in the spirit of the song and you're letting the spirit of the song drive the recording process and you're so locked in it, you
Hmm.
can play the fucking bass, you can play the drums, you can play literally anything,
Yeah.
because you're just you're in like this river of this song that's like coming through. And so I think that like the more you fight that and like have that, it's a fine line, but I think that like professionalism thing is so sticky, and it's
Hmm.
this little kind of like monkey mind like thing that can really like poke at the process. And it's such a fragile, it's a birth, like it's
Yeah.
literally like a birth.
Yeah.
And I think that often, like, that's why it's like the energy of the studio you're recording in, the people who you're around, their ideas of what a good song sounds like. It's like
Yeah.
there's so many people that have their own total relationship to the process of music making. And so I think working with someone like Alaska was really cool because, she and I were like on the same page of not not futzing around with it, like
Right.
really letting the spirit of the song come through. Um and yeah, I've just had different experiences and learned a lot, and I know I will continue to in making music. But like, yeah, it's something to protect. I
Yeah.
think the recording process, it's a really sacred thing. And when you're kind of lost or confused or feeling kind of like there's holes in like what you're trying to do and protect, it's so easy to get blown in the wind by some other dominant idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, so anyway, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I think it makes sense. Um, do you feel like creating these songs, creating Pod, do you feel like there were things you were able to do here that maybe just were not possible as part of Girlpool, as part of a band? Like, do you feel like it is kind of allowed you to do some new things as an artist, I mean?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think I could have totally brought all of these songs to harmony and we could have like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um that's what I've done forever is written songs like these, bring them in, whatever. I mean,
Right.
earlier we would do them from the ground up, but
Right.
after the second album, it was a lot of that. So that's what I probably would have done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think, yeah, I learned so much about I think I really needed to individuate and feel that solitude to find like the sound of like what I wanted. And I think simply the solitude and the separation allowed me to get to certain places in my experience to write these songs.
Mm-hmm.
Like the solitude of like not working on the next record, not thinking about Girlpool, but really just thinking about like what am I independently? Who am I? What do I need to say right now? And I don't think I would have been able to go to those spaces if I was like, let's write the next thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite track on the record right now, or like one you're most proud of putting out?
Um, I right now I'm really loving the song Angel.
Okay.
Um, I recorded a music video to it last night with
Oh,
Katie.
fun. Okay.
Um, so
That's
and we
Katie Gavin, we should say.
yes,
Yeah.
with Katie Gavin. And yeah, I've just been really feeling that one. It reminds me of I was listening to a lot of Gillian Welch.
Mm,
And there's that song Everything is Free.
right.
And it really I don't know if you're familiar with the album
Yeah. No,
Time,
it's a great
the
album, great
Revelator.
song.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I love that album. And I was listening to it a lot. And then I wrote that song at my old place on my deck. And it just was this really cool moment. Like I just was so it came out of me so easily. And yeah, so when I listen to that, I love slow songs. Like
Yeah, me too.
I love slow songs. And it's kind of a joke where like I every song I write really slow. And then
Mm.
eventually I'm like working it out and like trying to figure out the tempo. And whoever I'm working with is like, everything's like the same really slow speed. Like maybe this one should be a little bit faster or something. And I'm like, no, like, whatever. But I love the tempo of Angel. Like
Mm.
it's just like kind of like walks in this way. And I love Katie on it. And I just am really feeling that one right now.
Yeah. And Everything is Free is kind of slow too, but it doesn't rob it of its hook, of its melody. I mean, that whole record is kind of like that. It's
Sometimes slow is fast.
yeah, sure, yeah.
Sometimes the slow hits fast,
Right, right.
you know?
I
And
mean, that album in general is another one that's quite spare. It's quite patient. There's not that many layers, musically speaking, to those songs, and yet they feel so full.
totally.
I mean, one of my favorite songs on that record is The Closer, which is like 15 minutes of
Oh my
just
God.
hypnotic, like
Yeah.
like the melody doesn't even change, and I'm just so there for it because it's just so entrancing. And I just feel like there is something to that minimalism and that deliberate pacing and that sort of like stripping away everything that's extraneous.
Yes. And David Rawlings, the guitar player, I mean,
Exquisite guitarist.
unbelievable, like
Yeah.
probably my favorite. one of my favorites. And that song, I Dream a Highway,
Yeah,
like I remember discovering that song in high school, and that line just like blew me away. Like, I dream a highway back to you.
I know. Oh, I'm getting like
Oh,
chills thinking about it.
it's like the
It's so
coolest.
good.
It's so good. It's so
Yeah.
good. And I love that record so much. And it's really been inspiring my live set too, because
Mm,
her and her guitarist have such a cool language together.
yeah.
And it's like it's so sewing in and out,
Yeah.
and
They're very in it together.
they're so in it. And
Yeah.
I think it's interesting because I think my duo, growing up in a duo with harmony, I really developed this like attraction to that swing
Hmm.
of, like, going off someone without drums and playing with time and coming close and coming back and coming close, coming back. And I love that feeling in this album. And I've been playing around lately with my live set, just playing with another guitarist, and I've been loving that. I would really love to see her play live sometime soon. Have you ever
Yeah,
seen her?
I've never caught her. She came sort of nearby, I think last year, the year, but it was on the tour of their newest record, and it was on like a Tuesday, and I'm a high school teacher, so I'm like, I don't
Oh, cool.
know.
What do you teach?
I teach English.
Nice.
So I was like, it's really hard to convince myself to go to a show on a weeknight. I did though recently do it for Rilo Kiley because I could not
Nice.
resist. But yeah, no, I would love to see her.
We did Girlpool early days. We opened for Jenny Lewis for a while,
Oh, okay. There you
which
go.
was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I've seen her now a few times solo and now this, so that was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, so no, I would love to see her live too, because I would imagine watching two people because they're alone. For the most part, they're alone. I think sometimes she has a bassist or a percussionist, but for the most part, it's the two of them, not even far apart from each other, just spellbinding. And I just like,
It's
I
the
want to, I
coolest.
want to witness that.
It's so cool. Do
Yeah.
you can you tell when your students don't do the reading?
Yeah, it's
Can
pretty
you
obvious.
can you tell if they've like done Spark Notes or something?
Yeah, usually, although to be honest, they don't spark notes so much anymore as they just like ask AI to do stuff.
Yeah, so you could just like type in ChatGPT, like,
Yeah,
tell me all about this book so that I know in class tomorrow.
more or less. And sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not. But
Whoa.
yeah, it's definitely a struggle that we're trying
That's
to learn
really hard.
that we're trying to learn how to contend with.
I would definitely be hitting that shit up though. If
Oh
I
yeah, no, I tell them sometimes too, like, look, I get it. Like when I was in high school, yes, we had like Spark Notes, but we didn't have ChatGPT. So like I get it. If I was 17 and had to read 3 chapters tonight, I understand the impulse to go on there, but don't do it. Let's not do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough battle. I don't know if we're winning at the moment, but we're trying to
Yeah,
find ways
man.
through it.
That's tough for sure. That's
Yeah.
really cool though that you teach English.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Um, so yeah, you mentioned your live show. You have a show on November 6th coming up in LA. Is there more touring on the horizon?
I am doing a European tour,
Okay.
uh, early December, totally solo.
Okay.
Um, it'll be cool. It's like wake up. It's like flying to Amsterdam, play the show, wake up, take a train to Paris, play the show, wake up, take a train to, like, every
Right.
day. It's like go somewhere new, play a show that night.
Wow.
So I think it's gonna be kind of like a little like solo romantic little novel of me like getting on the train with my guitar. I've only ever toured in Europe, obviously, with Harmony. So
Right.
I think it'll be, and like with a tour manager and with a band and stuff. So I'm pretty excited to sort of like early
You'll be
December.
alone.
Yeah, I'll be alone
Yeah.
with like a little coat and like my
Yeah.
guitar on a train.
There is a romance to that, I suppose.
Yeah,
There's
totally.
something idyllic about it.
Yeah,
Um,
so that'll be nice.
so yeah, so I'll say it again, Paw, this debut record comes out October 10th on Sunkiss. Is that your label?
Yeah.
Sunkiss? I figured because there's a song title,
Song.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, how's that been for you working in your own capacity?
Yeah, it's been a trip. Like, honestly, I I've only ever been on a label, and
Yeah.
self-releasing this has been like I've learned so much.
Yeah,
It
I
was
bet.
kind of like I was pretty daunted by the idea of doing it, and then I like looked into what it would require, and I realized like, oh, I could just learn this. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was really mystified to me. Like,
Yeah.
I demystified what it meant to like put out music, because I've always had a label and I'm like, oh God, they do so much. I can't, whatever.
Yeah.
But I've just been learning, and just it's been cool. And like I have a lot of friends that have done it and
Hmm.
have like been so generous to kind of like show me the ropes and stuff.
Mm.
Um and yeah, it's pretty liberating, to like realize, oh, I could do like whatever timeline I want. Um, you know, pick whatever songs for the singles. Like I could drop it all in one go. I
Yeah.
could do whatever kind of rollout. And yeah, I've been learning a lot about it. It kind of was just like, oh, I want to do this my way. I might as well
Yeah.
just learn this new way of doing it and try it. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. Well, great. I mean, you did it and it's happening soon.
Yeah.
We're coming up on the day, October 10th.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Avery, for taking the time to chat with me.
Thanks, Jeremy, so much. This was so awesome.
Yeah, it was lovely. All right. Take care, Avery.
You too.
Bye-bye.